Welcome to a world of thrills, a world of drama, of capes and tights, a world where death is a revolving door. Welcome to the Geek Matrix. It's the DC Comics review show number 151. As always, the world's greatest comic show about the world's greatest superheroes. It's Rob here. Hello. Welcome. Joining me, as always, are my wonderful co-hosts, Brandon.
Hello, everybody. Card-carrying member of the Titans here.
Ooh, upgrade. And Josh.
Howdy. Usually I have a joke loaded, but damn, I've been busy this week.
Oh, I get that. If you've been missing some stuff recently, last week we revealed that we have undergone a rebirth of our own, and we are no longer not a robot. Not to say that we are robots now. We're still not robots. We're still humans, but we are now the Geek
I'm not
Matrix.
sure about Kirk.
The who?
Kirk.
Oh, Kirk. Yeah. Anybody that enjoys that much Warhammer
It might just have some kind of robotic parts.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we are now the Geek Matrix. We're no longer not a robot. Nothing has really changed apart from a new filter on our phone screen. That's pretty much it. Same fun, just maybe a little bit more ominous.
Just a little facelift.
Very much like DC Comics.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Yeah. And as always, you can reach us by visiting our new website, technically new website, thegeekmatrixpod.com, for links as always to our Twitter, Instagram, Discord shows, and much more. Be sure to check it out. As for today's books, we are looking at Batman Inc. number 9, Spirit World number 2, Wildcats number 8, and Green Lantern number 2, as well as a special co-host by the gardener outside my window using a blower.
Nice.
Yeah.
I love to hear it.
The freaking gardeners around this area are so inconsistent. It used to be years ago every Monday during the day, and now it's like Wednesday in the morning, Thursday afternoon, Monday at 9 a.m. Who fucking knows when they're going to show up?
That's why the only good gardener is Guy Gardner.
Let
me twist my neck.
Oh, don't forget. It's not the same caliber of joke, but don't forget Captain Planet as well is also.
That's true. Oh my
excellent
god,
gardener.
He's my hero.
That's true.
Yeah.
He's the world's gardener.
Exactly.
Gonna bring pollution down to zero. That's what
Yeah.
And if you ever hear about Captain Planet, I think it's impossible to not mention that sketch with Don Cheadle.
Oh god, I see that in my nightmares.
That was yes.
I can't. Was it College Humor that did that?
It might have been College
that or
Humor
Funny or
or
Die?
SNL.
Funny
I don't
or
remember.
Die.
Yeah, or yeah,
Funny
Funny
or
or Die.
Yeah.
Oh god.
So freaking great. Oh yeah, so that's our books. I think our fourth host has left me for now. That's fine.
That's all right. I've got thunder showing up on mine. Rain on the window and thunder in the background. So we're all good.
Yeah, we had that yesterday, but it seems like it's all clear skies on our end today. So
That's good.
grateful for that.
I was supposed to have a thunderstorm happening right now, but again, I think it's just like Brandon. It's cloudy, but it's clear. Doesn't look like it's gonna rain.
Yeah.
Took a wrong turn in Montana if it was supposed to be up there and ended up here.
Jeez.
Yeah. It caught the wrong plane.
Indeed, it did.
Yeah. All right. So that's our books. And I'll finish the pitch with, as well as some honorable mentions. I've been trying to say for the past couple of minutes, but I kept rambling. All right.
That's what we do. We ramble.
Exactly. That's it. Yeah, but before we get into that, what's going on with you guys? What's new?
Oh, I think there's been some pretty new stuff, if I can say so myself. Something that I thought you were going to introduce. But
I mean, I said
I don't know.
Geek Matrix. I don't know.
Oh, I think I was thinking something a little bit more robotic.
Oh no.
something a little more
Oh,
automatic.
I forgot to put that on my news list.
Well, then I'm gonna pick up the slack.
Though I was starting
Is
off with personal news. If you had
yeah.
anything,
Oh well, I mean,
but by all means, we could jump into that. Awesome.
aside from just reading like a crap, I've been on such a comics tear lately. It's been great. Aside from that, nothing really new in my personal life. What about you, Josh?
That's about the same thing here. Just handling little things here and there with the for the podcast, getting the name changed, done, and all that, and then setting up my kids' computers because of this one, and they nitpick. They want everything. Hey, Dad. Okay, now that we've got all of this, can I have? I'm going to need 4 other versions of Minecraft installed so I can go and get 11 different mods for all of those versions. And what do you mean I'm gonna need another hard drive? And
it's always something, isn't it?
Yeah. There's just some things that you don't consider when you buy yourself, or when you get your kid a real desktop PC, and that's they're gonna want the exact same thing that Ninja that Ninja has.
Oh God. This is why kids should just not learn about computers, so that they don't ask you for more and more things. They can just remain happily ignorant of how computers work, and whatever you get them will appear to be the best thing that you can get them. That's how life works.
Exactly.
Is that how life works?
Probably.
Probably.
In fact, you thought about Fortnite reminded me of a post I meant to share earlier today that was kind of cursed. And I forgot, so I'm just gonna share it now. If I can fucking find it. Oh dear God. Yeah, on Discord.
Okay.
Yeah, in Gaming Geeks.
Uh-oh. Should I be worried?
Maybe. Yeah, Optimus Prime is officially in Fortnite apparently.
Oh.
And with that comes all
with
the
that,
Fortnite dances.
Yes, of course. But with that also comes, I would say, a pretty major announcement in the world of Transformers that I feel ill-equipped to even talk about as a total non-expert. But I guess I'm just gonna go and try and run with it. This past week, a new book came out from Skybound Publishing, which is, of course, an imprint of Image Comics, kind of overseen by Robert Kirkman. A book called Void Rivals #1, written by Robert Kirkman, coincidentally enough, that has been getting a weird amount of press behind it because of some things that may or may not have been in the book. There was a variant cover that got a lot of news and attention because it featured a character that many suspected was connected to another franchise. Honestly, it was one of the worst kept secrets of the past month or so, but the book is finally out and was a fairly solid debut of this new series. But I think the real catch that everyone's been paying attention to is that it has introduced an entirely new universe, the Energon universe, that has partnered with Hasbro, or rather Skybound has partnered with Hasbro to produce this new universe that is going to be focusing on Hasbro toys, which, if you haven't guessed it, yes, that means that they are going to be publishing some new comics of arguably their most famous properties, Transformers and G.I. Joe, and those will be coming later this year. But this universe is going to be an entirely integrated thing. So G.I. Joe interacting with Transformers and vice versa, in addition to some of the new characters that were introduced in Void Rivals. But some of those announcements came with creative teams. So I'd say the biggest one of all being a new Transformers ongoing series from Daniel Warren Johnson and Daniel Warren Johnson, with colors by Daniel Warren Johnson and letters by, I'm kidding, I think it's from Mike Spicer, but basically he's doing a lot of the heavy lifting with the story and art, in addition to 2 other series from the G.I. Joe universe, Duke and Cobra Commander, both written by Joshua Williamson, one with art from Tom Riley, and the other, I wish I wrote that down, but I can pull that up somewhere. Oh, where is it?
Now, if I'm not mistaken, I stumbled across an article here not too long ago, last
Andrea
few days.
Milana. There we go. That's the artist for the Cobra Commander series. Sorry, what were you gonna say?
That sounds familiar.
I've never heard of her, but yeah.
But if I'm not mistaken, they were talking about confirming the continuation of the Hasbro Cinematic Universe, and we are supposed to be getting a Transformers G.I. Joe crossover movie.
I haven't heard anything about that, but
spoiler warning for people who haven't seen Rise of the Beast yet.
I mean,
whoops.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I guess that's technically my own spoiler because Josh was not. He was kind of vague about what the hell that means. That spoiler warning right now is apparently part of the after credits scene or mid credits scene in Rise of the Beasts.
Well, now this makes a lot of sense then.
Yeah. That's the lead character gets the lead human character rather gets a business card from somebody, and on the business card is the logo for G.I. Joe.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah. Well, then there you go. Well, this whole publishing imprint and new connected universe makes a lot of sense now. Because it seemed like kind of a weird push to make, but now that I know that they have the kind of media tie-ins alongside it makes more sense. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I kind of just went in blind because I don't really know all that much about Transformers, to be honest. And I got to the now famous page that's in the first issue of Void Rivals that
was so excited.
features a character that I will not spoil here, but one that Rob apparently recognized instantly that I did not. And I was like, oh, like, okay, I guess they're doing it. So I don't know. I like the creative teams. I'm always up for a new universe, so I'm willing to give it a chance at the very least, and just see how they're building all this stuff out in the future.
Yeah.
I'm up for it too. And Hasbro's a big company with a lot of properties. Now here, we've got Transformers, we got G.I. Joe. That screams, yeah, let's go ahead and do that.
My Little Pony, I think.
But they've got Power Rangers.
Yeah.
They've got Power Rangers.
I mean, I think they have the toy licensing. Right? No, I think they run the shows now too.
Yeah, because I know Boom, at least as recent. No, I know they do because they just did the TMNT Mighty Morphin crossover like as recently as last month.
They're still publishing.
They still have the publishing rights
comics.
Yeah.
So they're still doing the comics.
Then the rest of them, yes, they do My Little Pony, Peppa Pig, PJ Masks, Littlest Pet Shop. The only other possibilities I see going on here are, and this means really, really stretching it, and that's Tonka and Play School. They could do.
I don't see that getting a movie.
That's what I'm saying. They've got Gem and the Holograms as well. And I don't know how well that would connect the Transformers and G.I. Joe.
Yeah, I don't know.
That could work.
So little
out of all the properties.
I guess it depends. Because I was going to say it'd be a bit like doing like an Archie Batman crossover, but they did do like I remember a Betty and Veronica and Harley and Ivy crossover, which admittedly is not the most like super heroic team, but it showed that they can at least cross over into the superhero universe. So
that's true. Now look, man, here's what I'm thinking. If Power Rangers gets brought into the Hasbro Cinematic Universe with something that looks as great as, say, Optimus Prime, they're going to have to make the Power Rangers look as good as that as well. And that's only great for the Power Rangers universe.
Well, that's the only thing though with the Power Rangers universe, as cool as that would be to see the Power Rangers, G.I. Joe, and the Transformers all team up together on one big screen. The Power Rangers has built such a huge universe in itself that there's teams of Power Rangers on all sorts of planets across the universe already. And for it to have never come across a Transformer before, or just to like all of a sudden have us believe that like, I mean, they've crossed over in the past, but like that's a little less because G.I. Joe's based mainly on Earth, right?
Usually, yeah. It's like a Black Ops, I don't know, government team or something like that.
Depending on the Transformer series, they're either on Cybertron, on Earth, or
Special
anywhere
ops.
else in the universe. So I just feel it'd be feeling kind of forced to have both those groups, like Power Rangers and Transformers, together. I think, as excited as I would be, I just feel like it would be a little too much.
Well, that's
Of,
I'm trying
don't
to
ask questions kind of deal.
Well, yeah, you're right there. Definitely would be that. But I'm trying to think of, they've got these properties. What is the point of it calling a Hasbro Cinematic Universe if you can only make use of two? I mean, let's be honest, Gem and the Holograms, while as a kid, I loved that shit. I really did. But I don't see how that kind of a character set is going to work in with something like Transformers and G.I. Joe, which is big, huge action.
Yeah.
Well, Rob, I feel demanded to ask as our resident Transformers expert and fan here, sort of how you're feeling about
I wouldn't say expert,
this new
this
new universe of books and everything.
I'm stoked. I'll admit though, like I've been waiting since last year for an announcement on who's picking up the property. And I'll be honest with you, as of recently, I thought for sure Marvel was going to pick it up again. But
I remember seeing a lot of that speculation
too.
Yeah, because they were re-releasing, I think it was Micronauts and ROM from the 80s, and they were publishing Transformers right alongside those. So I thought for sure that it was going to come with it, but apparently not. I'm stoked for it because we did get a preview of the cover for Transformers #1 from Danny Warren Johnson in the back of the Void. I keep wanting to say Void song, but it's not Void song.
I know. Yeah, I was doing that too.
What's Void
Rivals.
Void Rivals, thank you. Yeah. And the art just looks so freaking classic. It's like iconic G1 Optimus. It looks so good. So I can't wait to see where they go with it from here.
Yeah.
Is that wrong?
ROMs versus Transformers.
Oh hell yeah.
There you go.
That IDW I saw?
Yes,
Right on. Yeah, honestly, IDW did so many great comics with Transformers. I haven't even read them all. Yeah. Like they ended the war and they still told like another 4 years worth of comics. It's fantastic.
That's cool. I'm really glad it didn't go to Marvel, honestly. I think it would have been cool because I know Marvel would have gone all in on a lot of the reprints, which would have been nice. I'm sure for Transformers fans, but I don't know. After Conan, like I feel like I'm just so jaded and cynical over how they can handle some of the rights to pre-established properties and stuff like that.
Conan should have went to DC.
I don't know. Because I feel like DC,
and listen, the reason why Warlord. I want
DC,
Warlord. That's why.
Well, that's my point. Like DC, they just wouldn't have done anything. Like for Marvel's credit, they tried and they tried a really big push and it didn't take, and then they just kind of gave up. Personally, I would have been like
Conan and Warlord would have made a really cool small universe unto their own.
I mean, maybe. Well, yeah, but again, like Warlord is kind of a sword and sorcery character that can stand unto his own, and I feel like Conan would overshadow that, which wouldn't be the best, but
for no reason.
No, the problem is like, I feel like if Conan had gone to DC, they would have published like maybe a mini series, and then that would have been the end of it, right? And then it would have just been sitting in the vault.
Yeah, you're right.
So yeah, with Marvel, like they tried earnestly to have a big push, and then when it didn't go the way they wanted, they gave up. But I feel like under Kirkman and just his kind of big thinking for Skybound and everything, like I can't say if it'll sell gangbusters, but I feel like they'll probably be pretty dedicated to it, which will be nice. So
yeah, it's looking good so far. I'm not a huge fan of G.I. Joe myself. It's never really been my wheelhouse, but I've been aware of it.
Nothing about G.I. Joe.
I liked it back when I was a kid. There was Duke and Snake Eyes and Snowstorm, who were the black and the white ninja.
Right.
And they got Snake Eyes was so cool in the movies. They got that so right. And then Snowstorm, they got so wrong.
Yeah.
they got a lot wrong in that movie.
At the
other than what's that?
The movie you're talking about.
Yes.
At Channing Tatum, yeah.
Yeah, and I actually both of the GI Joe movies weren't really. They just didn't feel like GI Joe.
That's okay. Neither did Bayformers. So
neither did Bayformers. Yeah,
Bayformers.
but at least somebody let Bay try again and again and again and again and again until they were like, you know what? Let's
get a
give
different
Bumblebee
director
to somebody else.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Michael Bay Transformers wasn't all bad, I will admit, but there was definitely some lower points. I'm looking at you, Dark of the Moon.
Oh God. And what are those two little robots?
Oh, like Mudflap and the ones that were very like arrogantly stereotypical.
Yes.
Yeah, I think one was called Mudflap. I don't remember what the other one was. I try very hard to forget those two.
Fucking annoyed the shit out of me. I'm like, oh my God, they gave Transformers a Jar Jar.
And that and the testicles on Devastator just kind of killed that movie for me.
Fucking right. Jesus.
It's bad enough we had Kiss players. We don't need live action Transformers with genitalia. And if, for those of you, do you guys know what Kiss players is?
I have no idea.
It's notorious in the Transformers fandom. It came out, I think, 5-6 years ago. And it's a manga where the Transformers came to Earth, and the only way they get their transforming power is by being kissed by a lolly.
Oh, that sounds about right. Yeah.
It's so fucking weird.
I saw it was the funniest thing I've seen in a hot minute.
By a lolly?
Yeah.
A lolly.
Lolly.
Yeah, it's
what is
an anime
a lolly
term.
Yeah.
It's a young girl, basically.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was like some ad for, I guess, a manga that's like, I used to be a Spider-Man villain, but I got reincarnated as a teenage girl, and I was like, fucking only in anime could you do something like that.
Right.
Only in anime and manga.
Yeah.
So it's like Doc Ock, but he's basically reincarnated as a lowly girl going to a middle school.
God.
So there you go.
That's so weird.
Yeah.
Yeah. And honestly, like the more you mention how like it's a good thing Marvel didn't get Transformers, because you're right. Because the more I think about it, Zeb Wells could have ended up with the book, and then fucking RC would have left Optimus to date like
Oh,
Bumblebee or some shit.
Yeah. I knew you're gonna say something like that. Yeah. No, I don't even know who in Marvel's stable right now would even want to write the Transformers, let alone be equipped to handle it. I'm by no means the right person to ask, but oh God.
I think.
Don't you mean Akira Yoshida?
Oh,
Kiss players
team him up with.
I'd be very interested to see. Oh my God, the name just completely left my head. I'd be interesting to see what Chris Claremont could do with the Transformers.
Oh, that'd be sick.
I don't know.
Where did you?
Chris Claremont is an interesting fellow these days.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I haven't really been keeping up with the minis that he's been doing for Marvel, so maybe he's on an interesting writing tear. Yeah, you saw it, right?
What in the fuck is this?
I don't even know. It's one of those things you can't even explain. It's just like, okay.
God, yeah, no, this screams Cebulski.
Yeah.
No.
No, this kind of manga is all the rage right now.
Oh yeah, anyone who follows isekai is like just numb to this shit.
Yeah.
I did it again. What's his name?
God. So bad that I kind of want to check it out just to see how.
You kind of want to see, I know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like there's a part of me that's definitely
It's
mildly
like a car
curious
crash.
to see.
Yeah.
I don't know. It could be funny. But yeah,
So-
Jesus Christ. Like that's become such a trope in like anime and manga, especially lately. Like I died and got reincarnated as X, as a sword, as a slime.
As a slime.
Like,
yeah,
oh my
all over the
fucking God.
place.
Like, how many times are we gonna do this shit?
The only
people
one
that
I've
eat
read.
That's why anime doesn't appeal to me quite so much.
That's why anime appeals to me.
It's
so
like-
ridiculous, but
It's
you
out
kind of
over the
love
top.
it. Yeah.
The only one of those mangas I've read and I really enjoyed it. It was a Dragon Ball Z version, and it was I died and got reincarnated as Yamcha.
Oh,
but he took
Yeah.
his knowledge because in his real world, Dragon Ball was an actual manga and cartoon.
Mhm.
So he took his knowledge of the Dragon Ball world and trained Yamcha up to just be OP.
Oh, that's actually
and just
smart.
one shot all the fucking villains. It was
Yeah.
actually fantastic. It was a Yamcha fan's wet dream.
Yeah. Well, according to my friend Eric,
Fantastic.
who literally just texted me as we're talking, he said Flash movie stunk, worthless sludge.
Oh,
So
shit.
I'm gonna take it. He did not enjoy it, but I
Yeah,
guess I'll have
sounds like
to.
it.
I'll have to see it for myself.
Well, that's a glowing review if I've ever heard one.
Yeah.
All right. Enough about Transformers. We got a
Never
couple
thought I'd
other
hear you
things.
say that.
I could go all fucking podcast, but we have other things to talk about. I've had a stomach bug the past week.
Ooh, I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
since last Friday, it was not
Jeez.
pretty.
Yeah.
Freaking missed 2.5 days of work.
Oh, yeah, that's
It's right
terrible.
off.
Well, I hope
Yeah.
you're feeling a little bit better now.
I am feeling a lot better today, thankfully.
That's good.
Yeah. What really bugged me is like Saturday, I was finally home alone, and no one was going to be in the house, just me. And I had so many plans, and then
Oh,
I ended
man.
up just like on the couch all fucking day.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Couldn't move, couldn't eat.
Damn.
Yeah. But I watched Renfield,
Oh,
and that movie rocks.
yeah.
That movie does rock. I love it.
Yeah.
There's a rumor that guy is being considered. Oh, that him and 3 other people. I posted this in the Discord. He is one of the 4 people that are on the short list to play Superman in Gunn's upcoming Legacy movie.
And Nicholas Holt, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Unfortunately, not Nicolas Cage, but
No,
Yeah.
not Nicolas Cage.
yeah.
Which
Nicholas Holt is Superman. I so don't want that.
Yeah, I kind of I like Nicholas Holt, but
no,
I
he's a phenomenal actor.
He
but
is.
Really
he's
is.
like I could not see him as Superman.
Yeah.
Okay, so like this, imagine Renfield with a tiny bit of and I mean just the slightest bit of an arrogant attitude. Now, Superman's not arrogant, but if you picture Renfield with a slightly bit of arrogant attitude, it's almost like Superman with a normal bit of self-esteem. And I think that he'd be able to pull it off.
Maybe
The
I don't
other
know.
3 people I don't know at all. I can't remember.
Yeah, I didn't recognize the names.
They are Tom Brittany, David Corin Sweat, and then of course Nicholas Holt. I don't know who David Corin Sweat or Tom Brittany are, but dude, they look so much like Henry Cavill. It's not even funny. Like, it is ridiculously
Oh God, yeah.
similar. Both of them are like, are they doing this on purpose? I mean, that's how similar they look.
What was the other guy's last name? Oh, David Corin Sweat. Yeah.
Corin Sweat.
God, yeah.
CORENSWET. Yeah.
Yeah. I could honestly, of the 3, David Corin Sweat might be my top choice right now, just based on look.
For Superman or to be a young Henry Cavill?
Both.
Yeah.
Like, I know I say I don't see Nicholas Holt in the role because I have trouble seeing Nicholas Holt in anything other than the frail, meek guy. Like, yeah, he was Beast.
Yeah, no,
And he was a
exactly.
beast as Beast, but
Well, I mean,
every
but like
other role, he's just skinny. But
when
like after, yeah,
even
sorry, go ahead.
when even when he was Beast, it was like rare that he was beasted out. That was the
Yeah.
thing. So like
He's
because
mostly scientist.
I know in both oh my god, why am I forgetting the name? First Class and Days of Future Past, he's just like some dude. Like he's not all furred up. So I think it's just hard to picture like that kind of large role for him.
Fucking Fraser Crane
I don't
Money
know
Plane
that
did
he'll
more
be
than him as Beast.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
so-
no, exactly. Like literally, I think he was. I don't even know if he ever got properly furred up until what was it, like the Age of Apocalypse or something? I don't
Possibly,
remember.
yeah.
I think that if I mean, this isn't going to start shooting until the end of next year, right?
Maybe not the end because I think it's supposed to come
Yeah.
out 2025, maybe at least mid next year.
Okay, mid next year. That gives Nicholas Holt a lot of time to go on a Chris Hemsworth diet.
Well, it's not so much bulking up; it's more just a presence thing. Like, just as an actor,
I get
because
it, but
undoubtedly he could get the
so
physique.
small, but like I get that, and he could get the physique, but he's got square shoulders, he's got sharp features. I think if he's coached right to be able to come across incredibly confident, then he would make a good Superman.
Look, I've looked into this man's eyes. I've seen his soul. I don't think it can be like you just know. You see some guy and you're like,
Superman.
I know he can be the Superman. Because like, Tyler Hoechlin, like he didn't have the physique, but you just look into his eyes and you're like, I believe it. I believe that you could be that guy in the red, white, blue, and yellow. So
soon as that got announced, you just need, like, fuck yeah.
You need that thing. I don't know. It's like the Grateful Dead thing. Like you need that X factor that you can't name, but you just know it when you see it, where you're like, that's it. That's the guy.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if we're going by that metric, then I'm gonna have to say that, David Corenswet is the Superman. If you're looking at the guy, if you're looking in the eyes and you're just going by the eyes and you're saying that's a natural talent that says I'm him, then it's David Corenswet.
Yeah.
100%.
See, now that I can definitely see.
No idea what he's done.
Also, I think it would be fitting too, because he's like I think he's not even 30 yet. So if they're doing like the young Superman thing, he'd be perfect for it.
Give him some time to age up with the role.
Yeah, exactly.
So Pearl, Hollywood, Look Both Ways, Affairs of the State. I mean, none of these are movies or TV shows that anybody would know.
Yeah. They don't sound familiar to me.
None whatsoever, but that doesn't mean that he's bad,
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, if they're on the short list, they're on the short list for a reason.
Aubrey Parker.
Yeah.
Or Plaza. I mean, everybody thought she was ridiculous. Goofy ass actress. I've seen her play in a few different kinds of roles now, and she's fucking phenomenal actress.
Yeah, I don't know if you ever saw Ingrid Goes West. That's like a couple years old at this point. But that was a pretty big change up too. Like she kind of has like the same kind of snarky attitude, but it's a very different role. Oh wow, that was 2017. Oh my god. 6 years ago. The fuck. But yeah, no, that's one where you kind of like, oh wow, she has some range.
I'm completely blanking on the one that she just did. But go out and fucking Google it. Because it was really, really, really good.
Yeah.
So the only thing I can give to Nicholas Hoult, though, because I mentioned this a couple of weeks back, I think, and I don't remember why I was talking about it with somebody on movies and TV.
Emily the Criminal.
Oh,
that was really good.
Great.
Cool.
Is that the last, maybe the first time or the last time I really thought, like, when I saw a casting idea, a casting announcement, I thought that makes no fucking sense. And that was Heath Ledger as the Joker.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is stupid. This makes no sense. This guy is pretty boy romance movies. That's all, nothing else. And then he's the best fucking Joker we've ever seen.
Yeah.
Like you couldn't just look at him and picture Joker makeup on him.
No. And you're right. Like at the end of the day,
I read it. He was a method actor. I'm like, if a method actor will always pull off a psycho.
Yeah. No, I mean you're right. At the end of the day, like these guys are actors, ideally, theoretically, but
you're blinking in and out there.
So, hello.
Right.
You hear me?
Okay. You're good.
Oh yeah. No, I was gonna say in theory they are actors, so they should be able to take on different roles that show their range. So I think it's impossible for him to pull off the role. It's just kind of hard to picture. But like you said, Rob, like I'm sure it was hard to picture Heath Ledger, and then you see it and you're like, oh my god, it's the greatest thing ever.
Yeah. Exactly. So like if Nicholas Hoult gets the role, I'll be very optimistic about it.
Yeah.
We'll see how it goes. All right, two things I've got. Sadly, we lost another legendary comic creator earlier
Yeah,
this
this
week.
was a hard one.
John Romita Sr. passed away at the age of 91.
Yeah, he was
Yeah.
up there, but man, talk about a guy that has brought us so much in the comic industry.
Oh God, yeah.
Yeah, no,
including a
even just-
spin-off.
yeah,
even just for Spider-Man alone,
yeah,
Yes.
it's just so iconic.
Oh yeah, like you picture Spider-Man and it's his Spider-Man basically.
Exactly,
Like more
yeah.
so than Steve Ditko, which is crazy, but it's
Yeah.
true.
Like Spider-Man No More is still one of the most iconic images
Oh yeah,
in history,
Mhm.
in comics history anyway.
Yeah, no, I agree. And I think I could be mixing this up, but I'm pretty sure for a while he was Marvel's art director, either for the entire company or for the Spider-Man books, which is a pretty important role.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And something that doesn't get talked about because like he's basically the guy that selected the next generation of Marvel artists throughout the 80s and 90s. And most of the guys that you've seen kind of come in and come out through that, iconic era were because of him. But also just the role of an art director is incredibly important as well. So yeah,
Agreed.
like with Denny O'Neil, he wore many hats, and
Yeah.
there probably won't be another like him.
Definitely not. Yeah, that was a damn shame.
Yeah.
They don't draw them like that anymore.
Yeah.
And on a kind of lighter note, depending on how you take the news, the final Birds of Prey member was revealed last Friday, and it is
Drum
Harley
roll, please.
Quinn.
Damn it.
Sorry,
I forget.
yeah.
Did we talk about this? I don't remember.
I posted.
Oh wait,
it.
no, we talked about
Yeah.
you were speculating over red characters or something.
Yeah.
Like
So that brings our full team to Black Canary, Cassandra Cain, Big Barda, Zealot, and Harley Quinn. At least for the first story arc, because it has been revealed that as the story arcs progress, and I think starting with issue 6, it was said, so far I think it's being listed as an ongoing, at least for now. That the team could evolve.
Good.
Yeah,
change,
that wouldn't be a surprise.
Yeah.
Teams
so at
like
least
Birds
this
of
is
Prey,
the starting team.
Outlaws or Outsiders, teams like that should have a revolving cast.
Yeah.
Not like complete flip the team like they do in Suicide Squad all the time.
Yeah.
But they should. It should have people coming in and coming out. That I think that it's a good way to do that.
And this team of 5 is being described as the field team, which insinuates there's a base.
There's other teams.
Well.
I was thinking kind of like and Rob, I know you'll get this because you read it recently, but the Warren Ellis run of Stormwatch, where there were 3 divisions of Stormwatch, each for different purposes. So red, black, and gold, I think, was the other team. And it's basically like each team is designed for a specific purpose. So you have one that's just destruction, one that's for clandestine operations, and one that's a public facing team. And so I could definitely see the Birds of Prey taking on a similar kind of style where they have different teams for different situations. You just kind of shift it.
That'd be certainly interesting.
Yeah. Which is probably good for Kelly Thompson, I would assume, given that I'm sure she wants to write a ton of these characters in the DC universe. So it just lets her kind of have fun and play with all the characters she wants to play with.
It's going to be awesome. And that is coming out in September. So we'll get a full solicit tomorrow, I imagine.
Yeah,
I imagine.
Yeah. And that's about all I've got. You guys got anything else?
I feel like there was another DC. Oh, yeah. This will be for anyone who's just kind of interested in the writer artist contributions to comics, but there is another Batman book grown. Oh God, it's just another Wednesday, isn't it? But this one is mildly interesting. I think if only for the artistic talent attached to it, and that is Batman Gargoyle of Gotham.
Oh yeah.
Slated to be coming out also in September of 2023, and pretty much spearheaded by Rafael Grampa, who, if you're not familiar with that name, I would say check out Batman the Golden Child, or I think it's The Dark Knight, The Golden Child, but maybe don't check it out because that story is fucking terrible. But the art is really good. And Rafael Grampa has just like a style unto his own, which
he draws the weirdest looking baby head in the history of ever.
Yeah, they're a bit strange, but you know, I think like I said, for people who are interested in kind of like the artistic side of things, like this is definitely going to be a book that's heavy on that. I won't go too much.
Don't give sales to that book. Just look up pictures on Google, please.
Yeah, well, yeah, I would say the Golden Child. I don't want to shit on this book before it comes out. I'll definitely
no. The Golden Child. If you're looking for reference, don't.
Just look up reference photos and that sort of thing. But yeah, that is like I said, it's an art style unto its own, very unique and very interesting. I'm at least interested to see how he's going to kind of spin this story and kind of twist it on its head. So check it out. It should be interesting.
Well, you know, I'll give it a shot.
I'm trying to see because I know I've read something from Raphael Grappa, and I'm trying to figure out what it is.
Yeah, there's another book. I'm forgetting the name, but
unless it was just The Golden Child and I forgot, because
maybe
I think I read it and I regret
it.
Yeah, I'm looking up his bibliography for interior art, and I don't think I've read anything here. Yeah.
All right. Well, hate to be the guy that's kicking things along, but I don't know what time it was, but I do know Brandon has a heart out.
Oh wow, yeah, we've
gotta get moving. I was gonna move that into right now anyway. So Josh, if you want to start us off with honorable mentions.
I sure will, and then Rob and I can talk a little bit more about them in the spotlight episode on our Discord for $2.99. Show us you love us. Exactly. We got Superman Lost #4. It's good. Multiversity Harley Screws Up the DCU #4. Also good. Not as good. Nightmare Country The Glass House. Tynan should never ever stop writing horror. Waller versus Wildstorm #2. I'm really into that book. Static team up with a Nancy. That was a smile of mine going into it, and I enjoyed it on the way out because I could hear his voice the whole time I was reading that book, and that made me so happy. DC Pride Through the Years is just an anthology book, 4 stories that are LGBTQIA plus in nature. Fun little reads, no award winners, but it's not supposed to be. And those are the ones that I am mentioning this week.
I will put an asterisk on that. The Alan Scott story in DC Pride Through the Years, that's the only original story. That's a new one that leads into his mini coming up.
Oh shit! I didn't even realize that.
Yeah,
I didn't pay attention.
I'm gonna be picking that up tomorrow. I hope.
Well, then go get the book so you can read the Alan Scott story.
Yeah,
it'll be worth it. The rest of the stories are all right. The Supergirl one is a little weird, but the other 2 are pretty good. Other 3, excuse me.
Yeah, I think it's Batwoman, Supergirl, and Pied Piper.
Yes.
All right.
Yep, and they're all pretty good. Supergirl, like I said, is a little weird. The other 2 are pretty good though.
Right on.
All right.
Yeah, so we'll bust on over to the main show, and we're gonna kick things off with I'm DJ Easy Rob. Nice. So we're gonna kick things off with Batman Inc. #9, given to us by Brandon.
My pleasure. Batman Inc. #9, written by Ed Brisson with art from John Timms, colors by Rex Lucas, and letters from Clayton Cowles, Batman Inc. is on the trail of the various Jokers that have sprung up all over the world. This is, of course, orchestrated by Gotham's Joker, and this Joker Inc. basically seeks to inflict as much misery as possible. The horrible Joker-themed twist in their attacks, of course, is that both the other Jokers and Batman Inc. don't see coming, however, is that the Jokers have been rigged to leak a deadly gas that will spread across a 1-mile radius if these Jokers are not killed by a member of Batman Inc., which obviously puts them in quite the moral dilemma. As this is all being revealed to Ghostmaker and El Gaucho by Gotham's Joker, the various two-person teams of Batman Inc. are attempting to stop the various worldwide Joker's murderous sprees. But as the issue comes to a close, we go back to Australia, where Dark Ranger and Wingman had been tracking Australia's Joker, Corvus Call. After they find him and subdue him, Ghostmaker informs the two that the only way to make sure no further damage is done is to kill him. Wingman is happy to finish him and goes in for the kill, but he's stopped by Dark Ranger, and in doing so, he gets stabbed right through the heart by Corvus Call. Solid issue, nothing spectacular, kind of just continues the Joker Inc. arc. I definitely liked last month's installment of this story more. This one kind of just felt like, okay, they're running across the globe trying to take care of the Jokers. Like,
really,
tensions are running high. I mean, it's cool, don't get me wrong, but I don't know, like something just wasn't totally clicking for me in the way
Christ,
that I
felt like
I
was watching an action movie in the 90s, dude. I was like,
no, I mean, I definitely felt that, but it was more just like, oh, okay, cool. Like I wasn't in love with, that style, I guess. So, it definitely continues the plot in an action-packed, intense way, but it just kind of felt like I don't know, something about it felt very much like it was going through the motions. I couldn't quite pin it down, so I gave it an 8 out of 10. Like, I like the art, still am interested in the story, but for some reason I didn't enjoy the kind of continuation of the story as much as I did last week. So that's where I'm at.
Yeah, Joker Inc. is where it's at, man. Hell of a plan from the Joker to stretch them all across the globe. Real quick, is it just me, or do Clown Hunter and Batman of Japan look like they belong as a team? They even have the same style eyes.
They do, they do kind of mix quite well, actually. It's weird.
Dark Ranger, he gets ran through. He's one of my favorite Batman Inc. members. He's definitely in the top 3. And it looks like he's going to be dead. Night Runner is my favorite. When
you read, I have to know, when you guys read Dark Ranger's voice, do you do it in an Australian accent? Because I always do, and it's really hard.
Of course I do, Mike.
Thank you.
I definitely try to, but for some reason, I have trouble mentally hearing Australian accents.
This book is like a fucking task for me, let me tell you, because I'm like juggling like 5 different acts, because I'm trying to do like a South American one for El Gaucho, English for Night, some kind of Eastern European for the Grey Wolf.
So it's weird, right? Because I'll do that too.
Yeah.
But I won't do it for Asian people, and I don't know why. It's not even.
I don't know. I do the same thing. I do the same thing because, like, I don't know. I just something about that feels like weird.
Maybe it's because English isn't like a language that you hear them speak. You know what I mean?
And it's not like Jiro
like something prevalent.
Anyway. Yeah, it's not like Jiro is American. Like, I know he's from Japan. Like, they make that very clear in the first Batman Inc. series, but I just for some reason I couldn't do it. But yeah, fucking Dark Ranger. I'll throw an Australian accent on anytime. I don't care. Makes things much more entertaining.
It does. You have to. It's just like when you were reading Dusty.
Exactly. Yeah, you just really exaggerate the
well
southern accent.
Dusty, this is what he sounded
exactly. Yeah, the hardest one is probably Night Runner, who they've been putting in these last couple of issues, because I can't do a French accent to save my life. So but I'm just like, all right.
He's definitely the coolest one, and he looks like he's the one in the biggest amount of trouble right now.
Yeah.
Is this ongoing or 12? Yeah. It is ongoing, because this feels like it's a lineup for Batman Inc. to all be killed.
Yeah, ongoing with quotation marks around it. Like, ongoing in the sense that it could be ongoing if the sales are there.
okay, because it feels like a lineup to kill off a lot of Batman Inc. I could see that coming.
I hope not, but
yeah,
that would be unfortunate.
About the issue though, the art is fucking great. Colors too. Locust hits fire, but there is just something about John Tim's faces that I will never get enough of. His evil grins used to annoy the shit out of me, but even now that's just become a part of the rest of it. I love that man's faces. Probably draws my favorite faces in comic books. Like I said, man, this was like reading an action comic to me. The whole thing, I'm like, what the hell is going to happen next? What the hell is going to happen next? And it also at the same time feels like a great classic Joker story. Like this is the kind of shit the Joker would do. Enough with splitting him in half and dealing with fucking punchline and a hole in his head. I mean, this is classic Joker, and I'm cool with that. Dusty says something about revenge against Raven Red Jr. So I'm trying to figure out what the hell that's supposed to be all about. I know that this story isn't for everyone, but I know that I am invested. If you pick it up and read it, surely you can pick up the first 6 issues and breeze through that real quick. Is this in a trade yet? It's got to be in a trade.
I think the first volume might be, but don't quote me on that. So that would be like the first 5 issues, the No More Teachers arc.
Yeah.
Gotcha. All right, we'll pick that up and get ready for the second arc to come out because it is a good story, at least in my opinion. The characters, the plot, action, voices, art, the whole shebang, man. This issue got a 9 out of 10 for me, and I am nowhere near as nice as Brandon is.
Yeah, I'm still not sold. It's been 9 issues. I'm not hating it. I'm still enjoying it. It's just 8.5. I don't know. I don't know what else to say about Batman Inc. To be honest with you,
you're not sold, but you gave it an 8.5.
Yeah, like I still
saying.
enjoy it.
Oh, so it's like watching Fast and the Furious 36. You're like, yeah, this is cool.
Yeah.
But...
Yeah. Like this issue definitely did have a lot of action. I really enjoyed it, but it was very fast paced. And I'm also wondering, like, what's going on with the Joker? He's in 15 different places right now, and there's 2 of them.
That's yeah. And by the way, Fast and the Furious stopped being good after the second one. But that's neither here nor there. Nor is it any kind of setup or coincidence that we were talking about Fast and the Furious, and now we're talking about Spirit World.
Oh, excellent. Is that?
Oh, that was a Paul Walker joke.
Okay, I was curious if you were going that way.
Yeah.
Oh, yikes.
Yikes. Yeah. Oh, it's been long enough. It's not too soon. All right. As part of the We Are Legends brand, we are at Spirit World number 2, written by Alyssa Wong. Pencils and inks came from Hai Ning. Colors from Sebastian Cheng. Both of those brought us the cover, and lettering was done by Janice Chang. This is going to be a bit drawn out. It's almost like a movie you got to pay attention to, or you're not going to understand things later kind of deal. There's just a lot of stuff to take notes of in here. Starts off with the flashback, which leaves me wondering how much of the past is going to be a part of the series from this point on. Is it going to go past the origin story? And then there's the Spirit World 2, so there's a lot of jumping in this issue. Anyway, 15 years ago, Xanthi is standing, Xanthi is the title character. Xanthi is standing on the street in the rain and walks in front of a car. Again, this is 15 years ago, so very, very little Xanthi. Gets hit, zoom up and into a sewer grate with their hand over it, and it zooms again to focus on a gold bracelet that they're wearing with some kind of funky markings on it. Now we're in Gotham City, Chinatown, and Xanthi is getting ready to sit down to dinner with their family. Whenever they are addressed in the word balloons, the name they use is scribbled out, and they refer to them as girl with heavy emphasis. They, being their parents, refer to them as girl. reading this back and forth is making it very hard to keep the pronouns right. I'm gonna have to just look at my notes now. All right, so Xanthi looks really disturbed by this. Whatever their birth name is, it's Xanthi now. It wasn't until after I finished the book that I realized who that extra little girl at the end was. The Xanthi's little sister that never knew Xanthi before. So they're sitting there at the table. That's surrounded. It's got Xanthi's mom, dad, new little sister, and John Constantine there. John Constantine, a guest of Xanthi's, of course. Parents are rapid fire, calling Xanthi the wrong name and asking about Constantine and suggesting somebody else for Xanthi to be set up with. All the while, her younger sister is asking Constantine who Xanthi is and why they keep calling them by a different name. So Xanthi has had enough of it and says, let's go and start the storm off. And the sound effect shing comes out. Mom slaps her hands down on the table. Red lights shoot out everywhere. Everybody is frozen. And she says, I lost you once. I am never losing you again. Obviously, Mom is a magic user. Looks like Xanthi died from the car for sure, and that bracelet did some resurrection shit or something, protected it from death. I thought possible at first, but later on we find out it's definitely died and then came back. Over into Spirit World, Batgirl, Cassandra Cain, Bowen, and Popo, the old lady with the wings, are on the side of the door being broken into by Mr. Hong, though it's hella mutated, Mr. Hong is, and very resilient. Back to Chinatown, Xanthi laughs at the binding spell, turns their talisman into a knife with the snap of a finger, slicing Constantine's talisman with the knife and frees Constantine as well. How was Xanthi able to move? Mom wrote the spell with the birth name, and they say that was never who they were. Mic drop moment for the LGBTQ crowd. Constantine and Xanthi take off, and Steffi, the little girl from earlier, the little sister, tackles Xanthi to give paper offerings and to say that she has always seen them watching. Then Xanthi says something that I assume we'll hear more about in the future, and that is that Steffi, their little sister, is Xanthi's portal, the door between this realm and the spirit world. Speaking of which, that's where we go back to next, with Cass, Bowen, and Popo visiting someone with answers named Chen, who knows that Cass has died, something it looks like she was not aware of. Back to John and Xanthi, who are walking on the path of the spirit world. Shades show up, which are evil spirits that want to gobble you up and look like people you know. They start eating the path to the spirit world that Xanthi and John are walking on. They want to make it so they can't reach anywhere. Well, they do make it. Xanthi sends John first, then sees this million-eyed monster and says, I know you. Dropping their sword into the spirit world, and Bowen happens to hear Xanthi from the path. Xanthi then crosses over as well and is starting to be followed by whatever that kaiju Cthulhu-looking monstrosity is. And that's all they wrote. The art team has been a favorite since Monkey King, a favorite of mine. And Wong's writing style is really good. There is a lot crammed in here, but Alyssa Wong is able to pull it off. For me, right there at that threshold of being too much of an info dump, a little bit more and I'd be slamming this issue, but it's right there on that threshold and I am okay with it. There's going to be a lot of lore here, and I have a feeling that this character could very well possibly be woven deeply into the DC. Only really poor sales could stop that from happening. There's just so much potential with the character. As long as they stick to the current formula and settle those flashbacks up real soon, I don't see how the creatives could go wrong. Maybe I'm just a sucker for the darker side of DC, the Justice League Dark Crew, etc. But all day long, this book gets a 9.25 out of 10 from me.
Yeah, 8.25 out of 10 for me. Like the book is, I think, probably going to be my favorite of the We Are Legends line of books.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But
For sure.
But yeah, no, I mean it's just really good so far, and like I'm super just excited to see what's up next with the series.
Hell yeah.
It's a sleeper hit for me easily. It's a great story. It's got deep roots. I was kind of curious when I noticed that um Xanthi's original name was kind of
Scribbled out.
being blurred out. Yeah, and
Yeah.
I wasn't even thinking about the whole non-binary and dead name idea. My first thought was it's that old spirit trope of when you die you forget your real name and you can only pass on when you remember it.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And
I get that.
then when Xanthi was able to say their original name, I was like, oh, okay, so that's not it. And oh shit, it's this. Okay, yeah. But before I got to that part, I looked up what Xanthi meant, like what the definition of the word is. And apparently it's actually a Greek name in origin, and it means golden. I think it was golden girl. I think the
Yeah, but
Greek
this is
translation was like person with blonde hair or golden.
obviously Xanthi isn't Greek.
No,
In nature in any way, shape, or form. So I
no,
doubt that the name comes from anywhere near Greece, but so I'm assuming that the meaning is something different, probably not
most
golden
likely.
girl.
At the very least, the golden part might have something to do with it, but we'll see.
We'll see.
We'll see.
But
Yeah, so I was way off on my
yeah,
assumptions, but the story is freaking awesome. I give it a 9 out of 10. It's just exciting.
it took me a second to realize what was going on. I'm like, why are they scribbling it out? And then, a few panels in, I'm like, oh, duh. That's cool.
Yeah,
And then
you finally get it.
Yeah, and then at that very
Yeah.
end of it, where they're like, the binding spell didn't work on me because you didn't make it for me.
Yeah.
That was pretty interesting. That it
Mhm.
was done very well. It was a big moment without it being incredibly dramatic, and I thought that was pretty slick.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I guess that settles it up for Spirit World #2, of which we are all a fan. Let's jump on over to the next one, shall we?
Or do you want to do a quick commercial break?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Let's do
Let's
a quick
let's
commercial break.
Take exactly that. We'll be back, and we're back. Welcome back to the Geek Matrix. We are moving on with our reviews for the day, leading into Wildcats #8, brought to us by Brandon, drummer extraordinaire.
Yes. Wildcats #8, written by Matthew Rosenberg, with art from Emily Kim and Michele Bandini, with colors from Elmer Santos and Tony Avina, and letters from Farron Delgado. In this issue, Grifter helps out the resistance of the Halo destroyed Earth, which he landed on in the last issue, if you remember, and they fight off a couple of Spartan androids. The resistance makes their way to the Halo building, seemingly the last surviving building in this world, to find the void. While on side, Grifter, Savant, and Robin fight off an odd trio of Captain Cold, Deathstroke, and someone who I don't really recognize. I wrote down Kilgore, but I honestly don't know. I could be wrong. Before the arrival of
I was waiting for you to tell me that.
yeah, I don't know, like I saw like robot guy with tentacles, kind of. I was like, maybe that's Kilgore, I don't know. But yes, all of this is before the arrival of the deadliest foe of all, this world's version of Zealot. Robin attempts to fight Zealot, but is killed, forcing Grifter to step in and reveal himself to her as Cole Cash. They, of course, share a brief embrace, which allows Savant to knock her out before she can realize their ruse.
Grifter that's no minor note there either. Zealot kills Damien in like a panel and a half's worth of action.
Yeah, it's fast.
Damien is one bad motherfucker, and Zealot's like
slit his fucking throat.
Also, it's like kind of horrifying too. Yeah, he slits his throat. It's like, it's comics, so I know there's a lot of stuff you can get away with, but like that was kind of grim, because this Damien looks considerably younger than the one in our Earth. Like he looks like he could be 12, maybe 13. You're just watching this child get his neck slit open. Like, it's pretty grim. It's kind of like his death in Batman Inc. But anyway, back to I know the tears come out. But anyway, back to Wildcats. Grifter then goes after Void, and as the just arrived Max Cash version of Grifter sees, Grifter is not there to save Void. He is there to kill her again. As all of this is happening back on our Earth, the remaining Wildcats are discussing whether they can trust Voodoo, who left last issue, only to get a visit from old Wildstorm favorite and Nick Fury knockoff, John Lynch, only this time for some reason he's modeled after the 2017 The Wildstorm version, not his OG design, but I'm not complaining, I'm just complaining. Anyway, in any case, Lynch is here to discuss the next steps in taking down the Halo Corporation. And as Voodoo returns to the Halo building and logs into Marlowe's computer to uncover potential secrets, Mr. Halliday suddenly arrives with 2 Talons in tow and informs her that Halo is now under the control of the Court of Owls. But in natural fashion, he has some questions that she believes she can answer before she can escape. I thought this issue was good. It was definitely better than I originally was kind of feeling about it, just kind of summarizing everything. Because I kind of read the first issue and it was just a lot going on. Like you're kind of feeling like it's just a lot of chaos. It's like you're keeping track of everything that's going on with Grifter, but also the Wildcats, but now kind of this subplot with Voodoo, and then there's the larger story of the Court of Owls, and it's just like it's a lot to keep track of. But putting everything down, I was kind of able to ground myself, in the story, and enjoy some of the elements that I actually liked. So it was good, but I do admit, like, it's I get the basic story is they're trying to go against the Halo Corporation now that they realize they're skeevy as hell. But like it's just so much going on with the Grifter being on another Earth and the other Wildcats trying to figure out like what the fuck do we do next, and now they're throwing John Lynch in here, and like it's just a lot. So there's a part of me that's like, maybe if we could just kind of streamline this story, it would be a little bit better. But I also don't want to, I don't want to like have the book lose its charm. So I don't know, it's in a weird place. So I gave the book an 8.25 out of 10. Like I didn't dislike it. The art was pretty good and it was a fun read. It's a lot to handle. And there's parts of me that wish the story could be kind of more streamlined. But it is fun seeing John Lynch again, like Nick Fury knockoff that he is. He's a fun character. This kind of like IO director that, is kind of the hand that moves everything in the background. Almost makes me wonder if we'll see the rest of Gen 13 soon. But I don't know. I feel like it's probably not likely.
Would that be cool?
It would be cool. But yeah,
cool?
I don't know if it would be likely, just because Fairchild is on this version of the Wildcats and seemingly has no memory of the rest of Gen 13.
Different universes.
Yeah.
Though.
We're
looking at a different Grifter, a different Damien, a different
you're
Void.
Right. But so my point was, I'm guessing whatever version of Gen 13 they do would be different. And
that's
kind of its own interpretation. So it wouldn't be like, oh, John Lynch has a past with Gen 13. They'd just be like this group that exists, maybe. Like, who knows?
Yeah.
Or off the books. I mean, it's comic books. Team 7, Gen 13. What a resume. So I thought John Lynch showing up was really cool. Halo, the idea of it being ran by the Court of Owls, really cool. I don't know why somebody hasn't thought of that shit before. I don't know what Grifter is thinking, wanting to kill the Void again. That's his only road home. Grifter dumbass. The art is great. It's spectacular, really. Really good inks, the colors too. But I don't like the light blur shit. I don't know, the blur to show the light refraction, kind of like the Zelda games. It's the only complaint that I have about the Zelda games. And here as well, for the most part, honestly, I can't get enough of the Wildcats, and I really hope that this title is around for a long time, because it's hitting it out of the park. every time. And let me just put this: Different Earth is absolute dog shit crazy. 8.75 out of 10.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did take a look at it now that you mentioned Kilgore, and it is Kilgore.
Oh, it is Kilgore.
It is
Oh my
Kilgore.
God.
Yeah.
I gotta stop second guessing myself.
Your record is intact.
Sweet. Okay. I can sleep happy.
Very good. What was it you mentioned? I just know one of my notes was kind of corresponding to it. Just that the secrecy is delicious. I think it was when you were saying there's so much going on, as it's hard to keep track of, like, between Grifter and the Wildcats. Now this next thing with the Court of Owls, I'm like, I'm eating all of this up. It is a lot to cover, and it's hard to keep track of everything, but you don't know the answer to anything right now. And even like if you know the history of with Wildcats from before, and I haven't read the issues, but I'm reading stuff on Wiki and I'm like learning some stuff. I'm like, ooh, so it's probably this, but what if they do this? And I'm just like, my mind's going a mile a minute, even as someone that didn't read the original Wildcats. So
yeah,
I'm
with just a little
this.
bit of research, this will become one of your favorite series.
Yeah, there's a lot of deep
even
cuts.
if you don't want to do the research, it's still a damn good series.
It's so much
it's
fun.
funny. There's actually a couple that I missed that I was surprised, because recently I went back and I'm trying to finish Wildcats version 3.0, which is the Joe Casey Dustin Wen run. And there's a character from that book, Agent Wax. There's actually a couple of characters, Agent Wax, and then the Beef Boys, who kind of show up in a couple of ways. Agent Wax is one of the main characters, and both of them were in this run, and it just never registered. And I was like, I went back, and Wax was in like issue 3, and then the Beef Boys were in that horribly awkward scene where Ladytron was doing whatever she was doing with Spartan, but I think they were in this issue too. And I was like, oh crap, like what a reference I didn't even realize until I kind of went back and check that out again. So yeah, no, I'd say, like, if you have the time to read some of the older stuff, like, you'll be surprised some of the deep cuts the series pulls. You can tell that Rosenberg and company are definitely fans of all the various runs.
Oh yeah, without a doubt.
Yeah,
without a doubt.
Did I give my score? 9 out of 10. Honestly,
9 out of 10.
Nice.
Easily one of the top books at DC right now, in my
opinion. Wayne.
Party on Grifter.
Yeah.
And party on Green Lantern.
Yeah, that's it. We've reached
your favorite moment.
Long-awaited book. So this is Green Lantern
your
number 2.
Favorite moment. I heard you, Brandon.
The whole issue. It's been a hard time to be a Green Lantern fan. Just give me this. This is written by Jeremy Adams, which, by the way, if you missed it, we announced recently, and it is out as of last week?
Last Friday,
we have a special edition episode with an interview with Jeremy Adams himself. We had a lot of fun talking to him. Just so much fun, just talking about the industry and comics in general, let alone
TV,
Flash and
movies,
Green Lantern. All over the place.
All over the place with the guy.
Great guy to talk to. Really a lot of fun. Yeah. So check that out. Definitely. Even some teases to future stuff. So definitely something to look forward to.
Although you might have to wait about 2 months for some of that future stuff.
Yeah.
Which we will get into.
We'll get to that.
Yeah.
All right. So as I said, it was written by Jeremy Adams with art from Zermanico, colors from Romulo Fajardo Jr., and letters from Dave Sharp. Picking up where we left off at the end of last issue, Hal got his ring back going up against the Manhunter armored baddie named, oh my god, I just looked it up, Steel Fury.
Yeah. Just before you get past that first page, when I open this book and I see this, I shit you not, like the first for like a quarter of a second, I was like, Spider-Man? Like look at his face when he's when he's laying there. Do you see the lines on his chest and shit?
I can see that.
Oh man! Green Lantern will wipe the floor with Spider-Man. I'm not doing
this.
Right.
That's like,
whoa!
I wasn't expecting that, and he totally would.
What you want to go, Brandon?
Do we need to call death battle for this shit?
Let's do it.
Oh, damn right. Call him up. Oh yeah.
All right, Josh is
rather
referee.
die.
He's already got the black and white like patterned characters.
That's true. Yeah. I gotta say, your background, just like the way that it's positioned. I don't know who did the design for that, but it kind of looks like our viewers can't see it, but they'll see it on the updated Geek Matrix page. But it looks like the Spot, but in the position of Ten-Eyed Man.
I said that too to Josh. I said it reminds me of the Spot.
Yeah, it looks like the Spot, but he's like hunched and crouched over like the Ten-Eyed Man. It's
that's
so
that's
weird.
A good point.
Yeah.
I like the picture. I love the guy, the whole 9 yards. The only problem is everybody was freaked out by him, so we just went with the simple
scary.
the Geek Matrix.
Wait, I don't know if you've ever seen Community.
Oh yeah,
oh my god! Doesn't it kind of look like the
Jeremy,
Greendale Human?
Jeremy brought up.
Oh my god,
the Greendale Human. Yeah,
the Greendale Human. It looks like that. Yeah. Oh my god.
Yeah. When I saw it, I was like, I can't look at this thing.
Yeah.
It is cool, Josh, but like even when you left your camera for a minute,
a little
like half an hour ago, I had to like do a double take. What the fuck happened to Josh?
Is this kind of like Insidious when I do this?
A little bit. Yeah. Don't tilt your head.
Don't tilt your head. At least not slowly.
Yeah, no, definitely not slowly. Yeah, I'm just picturing a huge Joker grin on that monstrosity behind you.
Look, I managed to get us from Insidious off of the first page of Green Lantern. I am so sorry. Let's rock and roll this.
All right. Don't be sorry. I think that's quite the accomplishment. How many people could do that? All right, so he's making quick work of Steel Fury. As Josh mentioned, he goes flying across the sky like Spider-Man with a splat like a spider. And then Hal decides to set his sights to the sky, taking off in excitement because he's got a ring again. Flies around where he then spots the Demolition Team, which were briefly mentioned last issue. They take a quick turn.
Their names, their identities are so great that it bears worth mentioning.
I didn't write them down.
Steamroller, Shovel, Hard Hat, and Rosie.
And just Rosie, who's just like Rosie. the notorious hard ass. Sorry, it was
Rosie the Riveter like reference.
It might be, honestly.
I'm assuming.
But yeah, no, it's so weird because like I'm going through. Well, sort of. I'm taking a break, but I was going through the Len Wein, Dave Gibbons run on Green Lantern, which I think is where they first appear, and it was like, oh shoot, they are Green Lantern villains. Like they just kind of showed up again, so that was fun.
Deep cut villains there. Yeah, like
I guess so, man. I've never heard of them, or at least I certainly don't remember them. So that is cool.
Yeah, I might have heard of them in the past, just looking up villains, but yeah. I gotta see if the Wrecking Crew or Demolition Team, who came first. I'm very curious. So yeah, Hal spots the Demolition Team from up on high, and they take a turn into a cemetery while trying to escape from the cops. And Hal figures he'll make quick work of this team as well, but realizing that a lot of them are kind of freaked out by being in a cemetery, he figures he'll take a chapter out of Batman's book and use the criminals are a superstitious and cowardly lot paragraph, if you will, and use his ring to conjure up some spirits, some green
straight up adult version
ghostly,
of Scooby-Doo ghosts.
Oh god, yeah, like spirits just popping up, ghosts all over the place, skeletons climbing out of graves, and just freaking the hell out of all these guys. They run out of the cemetery at top speed and just like hand themselves into the cops. Yeah. So he flies off, job well done, and goes as high as he can into the sky, just testing the limits of the new ring, happy as can be, and then the ring gives out. Like just as he's hitting space. So now he's falling to Earth, and then we jump to present day, as that was 1 month ago. We don't go back to that yet. that's for another issue. I will tell you right now.
Yeah.
So, in the present day, Hal is now driving home, lamenting his bad first day at work at Ferris Air after crashing an experimental jet. Because fucking hey, Hal, that's all you do seems. And he's met at home by none other than Kilowog.
When you're good at something, I mean, stick to it.
Yeah, if you're good at crashing jets, just do that all the time. So Hal and Wog have a drink and a chat, and old Wog gives him the pep talk to lick his wounds and keep going. So the next day he heads into work, bright as can be, working now in the mailroom at Ferris Air. But by the end of the day, in a hilarious little montage, he ends up becoming a charter jet pilot. All in like 8 hours.
As you do.
Brilliant. Yeah. Now piloting none other than Carol Ferris's private jet, where he meets her new fiance, whose name I forgot to write down. And of course,
that's all right. He won't be around long.
No, he's just another Paul.
Oh.
Sorry, Carol, but you belong to Hal, baby.
Oh, we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, I don't think she thinks that right now.
No, she definitely doesn't think that. So after meeting
she's like, they're like Clark and Lois, man.
What, Hal and Carol?
Yeah, to me, they're like one of those iconic couples. They gotta be together.
I mean, they used to be. I don't know anymore.
These days they're more like Batman and Catwoman. They're just kind of like, I guess maybe we'll be together for a couple months and then I don't know, I gotta go off to space.
To be honest, I've always liked Hal and Cowgirl better than anything else.
Ooh, controversial.
Did you just say Cowgirl?
Cowgirl.
Yeah, Cowgirl.
Jillian's I don't remember her last name.
Something. Yeah.
Cowgirl, like yeehaw.
Yeah, no, that was her air sign.
No, she wore a cowboy hat and everything.
Oh, the pilot.
Yeah,
okay.
The pilot. Yeah.
Jesus Christ, Goose.
Yeah. Yeah, so after meeting the new fiance, honestly quite a nice guy, he of course messes with him a little bit to get some alone time with Carol, causing a little bit of turbulence to spill champagne all over her shirt, and he goes to the bathroom to clean it off, and then Hal uses his ring to put some vice grips on the lock so the guy can't get out, while he talks to Carol alone, and his co-pilot pilots the jet by himself. They talk a bit, and Carol is just keeps pushing him down until the co-pilot calls for Hal to come back up, because coming across the skies straight towards them is a bunch of dark, ghostly spirits, much like the ones Hal conjured at the beginning of the issue 1 month prior. But this time they're not green; they're actually really dark and demonic looking.
And extra Zermanico.
Extra Zermanico.
Yes, and
extra Zermanico.
This is to be continued in Night Terrors starting next month. And this is exactly what Brandon was talking about. If you want to know more about what's going on in the story, you have to wait 2 fucking months.
Which is driving me up a wall.
We'll be doing recap and speculation on the bonus episode.
But it's just I'd like, just if I can go on a brief tangent, but not too long because I know we don't have a ton of time, but it's just so mildly annoying, like just having to basically suspend like all the stuff that they're trying to build up with Hal and Carol, and just his whole arc right now being back at Ferris Air, but also having quit the UP and everything, and the Green Lantern Corps. You have to suspend all of that for fucking 2 months. Like you have to hope that people are still invested in the story enough that they will be willing to come back in September.
Yeah, like who is gonna be that invested in the John Stewart story? Or there's a couple other ones where there's after a 2-month break, nobody's gonna give a shit. This isn't a book that a story that people are clamoring for. It'll have lost a lot of its steam, and it's not fair to a story like that.
That's those stories about.
Those stories should have been put on the shelf, and we should have got filler issues right up until then.
Well, the good thing is, the one saving grace I'll say is that the Night Terrors tie-ins are like, they're independent. So it's not like Green Lantern issue filler 3 backups. And 4 are the tie-ins. So theoretically, if you're like, man, fuck Night Terrors, like I'm just gonna wait until the book comes back, you can just skip it and pick up 3 as you normally would. So my only hope is like people will be like, okay, that's all I care about. I'll just wait until it's back. But again, that's gambling on a lot.
Yeah, like some of the books are definitely going to be tying into the overall story that is being told, and I think
I mean, this one just
Jeremy
did.
Adams
This one drove right into Night Terrors.
Yeah, but is the Night Terror story going to tie into the overall plot?
Yeah.
Right. Is it going to pick up in issue 3, or is it just going to be its own thing?
No, which it'll probably be tidy little bow, Hal coming back to normal life kind of thing.
Yeah.
First few pages and then a carry on.
Which would also kind of suck in a collection standpoint, where like years down the road, if somebody wants to go read Jeremy Adams' run and they're like issue 1, issue 2, wait, what the fuck happened between 2 and 3?
Exactly.
Yeah. It's
like
it's kind of weird.
Theoretically, they could, well, but again, that requires money.
You read issue 2, you pick up issue 3, and you're like, well, what the hell happened? And that caption box is going to say, for what just happened, go see Night Terrors number 1 and 2.
Yeah,
I mean that's if they do that. That's like, because there's been books in the past that just don't do that. You have to freaking guess what happened. But hopefully they do.
I don't think with Jeremy Adams doing it, I don't think that's something we have to do, because he's a comic fan. You know what I mean?
It's the editor's choice to do that, isn't it?
I'm sure if you give a shit as a member of the creative team, you're going to do what you got to do to make something happen in the book. I don't see an editor going, no, you can't do that. That doesn't make any sense.
Well, that's neither here nor there. I think that's more discussion for July and August. Is going to be so much fun.
Oh boy, let me tell you.
Oh god, yeah. So I want to start this off right away with a theory I read online that I was kind of getting a hint to, but now that I have this issue, it's a little bit more concrete. Kilowog is dead.
Oh,
because you think about
you think he's hallucinating?
What kind of bar flats is that?
We'll see. Hal was talking to Kilowog supposedly in his own mind, but he was alone, and now all of a sudden Kilowog's just there, seemingly in the same timeline, and like nothing happened. And why is Kilowog there? Like, why would Kilowog quit and then go to Earth with Hal? Like, it's kind of it's and I don't see Kilowog quitting.
I mean, yes, I agree. That does seem like kind of a weird decision for him to make, but at the same time, like, he knows that Hal has walked off, and like I could see it as a solidarity thing. Like, if Hal quits, like, I'm not putting up with this either. And maybe it's time that I kind of just go to Earth and have a chat with him and just see how he's doing. Maybe give him a pep talk if he needs it. Like, I wasn't really speculating that he might be dead. It was more just like, my friend is kind of having a rough go of it. Like, let me check in on him.
That's the way I took it. But I mean, I guess
another piece of evidence, though, I have to look it up still, because I haven't seen the actual page, or I don't remember seeing it in the page, but there was some kind of page that had like a briefing from Oa, and it said redacted, deceased, and then Hal Jordan so and so. So they're acting like at least somebody is dead. So I don't know. We'll see. I'm hoping Kilowog's not dead, because Kilowog is just the best.
Yeah.
Them fucking posers.
Yeah,
it's a bunch of bar flats. I like that. Apparently, bar flats is a really bad swear word, and you know what? I do. I like it. I don't have time. I ain't got no time for your bar flats.
I do feel incredibly called out, though.
Listen here, bar flats.
Kilowog said, like, this mountain of dew tastes like some other alien thing. And I was reading that issue while drinking Mountain Dew, and I'm like, God damn it. Yeah. I mean, you're not wrong, but like,
you got a Star Wars nod and a slam on Mountain Dew. I thought that was awesome. Like Andorian puddle water.
Yeah.
Like, fuck, you're right. I assume that is what it tastes like. But hey, maybe Andorian puddle water is like the most delicious thing. Who never knows?
Mountain Dew tastes like somebody mixed orange juice with cat pee.
I'm not arguing with you, but yet I still drink it. So, I don't know what that says about me.
if you drink the other flavors, it's better.
Yeah.
Ew.
Code Red is amazing.
No, if you drink the other flavors, you're encouraging the normal one.
Oh God. Yeah.
Baja Blast.
All right,
but yeah, so that's
we
neither here nor there.
as far as the first part goes, the other thing that I wanted to mention is that it looks like there's a limit to the ring's power. Another similarity to Joe Moline's, shorter power, no battery needed.
I mean,
it'll be interesting. There's just two. I mean, I could be grasping at straws there, but that's two like back to back that are showing up to me.
Yeah. Are you talking about how the ring ran out of power?
Yeah.
Well, that's and I'm trying not to draw too much on our Jeremy Adams interview, because he did kind of drop hints about what the hell's going on with the ring in our interview. And when I was reading it, remembering what he said, I was thinking, okay, like this thing is basically just pure will right now. Eventually it's going to run out. How's he going to charge it? And it looks like that's what happened. I'm thinking his battery for now is the Manhunter armor.
Okay. We shall see. We'll see what
it
happens.
Could be,
man,
yeah.
Well, that Manhunter armor isn't going to hold a charge that long.
No,
yeah. The one thing that I'm still confused on is like, is the ring a solid ring or is it a construct? Because it said he just kind of drew the energy from the Manhunter armor and formed a ring. Yeah. But is that ring like a part of him? And he just kind of like almost when he was pure will at the end of the first arc of Rebirth,
his own ring.
Yeah, or is it like a physical ring that he can take off? I guess I don't really know.
It definitely seems like a construct so far.
Okay, yeah.
They refer to it as a ring made from the Manhunter armor.
Right.
So, I mean, up until, I suppose it could just be, I guess it's open to interpretation. It's either made but from the metal or from the energy. It's one or the other. Yeah. Two totally different kind of rings.
Yeah.
Go zoom in on that page where he's falling and see if there's a finger on his hand. Or if there's a ring on his finger.
Yeah. Yeah, I could go on and on about this issue, but I won't. Yeah, should I just jump into the backup before we continue?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So our backup was written by Philip Kennedy Johnson with art from Montos, colors from Adriano Lucas, and letters again from Dave Sharp. Simply put, John Stewart is spending time with his mama yet again, but she notices he's been a little distracted, just looking on up into the sky. But he assures her that he is right here, right now. Meanwhile, in another universe at another time, the Revenant Queen is attacking the Green Lantern stronghold yet again and taking the fight straight to Shepard, as the central battery, I believe that's what they're calling it there, breaks open. Out pops John Stewart from that world, and this John Stewart blasts some of the Revenant away and meets up with Shepard. Together they say the oath, and Shepard charges up his ring along with a new suit, and John Stewart charges up himself, and it is revealed to be confirmed that this is the John Stewart from the Worlds Without a Justice League one-shot, complete in full Green Lantern body. Friggin' badass reveal, even though it was kind of signifying that from the get-go, but I'm still like badass reveal regardless.
I'm stoked.
Yeah, I'm so excited for Green Lantern War Journal, especially with the covers that were shown earlier today, which we forgot to mention earlier in the news that it's they did announce that the book is coming. Did you see a month? September. Okay, so that's really interesting. Because I was thinking about like if this backup is leading into that series and they're taking 2 months off, and then the third part of these, like I think it's 5 or 6 parts of the backup is supposed to be like in September, and then it's just really fucking weird.
Well, so my guess is what they're gonna do is, and I gotta check the date on this again because I don't remember what day it comes out in September.
Right.
But my guess is it'll probably be like Green Lantern will come out before War Journal, and it'll be like they'll finish part 3 and it'll basically be like, check out the rest of the story in Green Lantern War Journal on sale now, like they did with Nightwing and Titans recently.
Yeah.
So that would be my guess. But yeah, again, it goes back to the same points that we were making about, are people still going to be as invested 2 months from now as they are right now? Who knows?
I hope so. I know I will, but that's
I mean, I think there may be some bias there.
Maybe
but
I don't
yes,
know.
I don't know.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I don't know.
As I hold up my Green Lantern ring that is stuck on my finger.
Yeah, but I sincerely hope so, because it's such an awesome story.
Speaking of Green Lantern rings, which hand does Hal Jordan wear his ring on?
The right. And if anybody says otherwise, they're lying to you.
Damn it. That sucks.
Why?
Conveniently, looking through the Green Lantern book here, I'm trying to see whether or not he has his ring on his finger as he's falling. And while you see all of his body, you only get to see his thumb and his first finger. You don't get to see his middle finger all the way over. So there's no telling if he's still wearing his ring or not.
Fair enough.
I don't know if that was intentional, but
probably was.
Jerks.
Yeah.
Yeah, fuckers.
The
first part, dude, Zermanico made everything look awesome. He makes Night Terrors look amazing. I can't wait to look at that, at least the shit that he's drawing. It's fantastic. Scored separately, would have gave that a 9 out of 10. In the backup, art is fucking beautiful. The Revenant Queen is fucking gorgeous, man.
Yeah.
You really have to pay attention from the get-go as to what is happening, and you have to know Green Lantern shit in order to appreciate what's happening. But it's pretty good, and with PKJ at the helm of it, I know that it is very likely headed in an even better direction. This is just it's one of those stories that are going to suffer because of Night Terrors when it goes on pause for 2 months, and then it's just unfortunate that this shit happens. But I also gave the backup an 8.75 out of 10. So 8.75 out of 10 for the Green Lantern #2 coming from me.
9.25 across. It's just so much fun. Revenant Queen and the Revenant look like that world's version of Blackest Night almost, because there's some dead lanterns in there for sure. And it's just so fucking badass.
Although to me, the Revenant Queen kind of looks like, for anyone who's read Seven Soldiers of Victory, the Sheeta Queen.
Kind of.
Yeah, and I just like had that in my mind, and I don't know if there's gonna be any connection, but I of course had to do some thinking about that, because I know Grant and Philip Kennedy Johnson have had some collaborations in the past. So but I gave this one a 9 out of 10. Like, series is great, and reluctantly I will read the Green Lantern stuff for Night Terrors, if only just to continue Jeremy Adams' story. But I'm just like, please just get this shit over with so we can get back to what we actually care about.
Yeah. I just hope Hal backs off on Carol a little bit, because getting a little much.
Yeah, it is a little creepy, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, he's taking it a
little
bit too
creepy.
far.
He locked her fiance in the bathroom and then broke the handle off.
Yeah. So they could talk. I swear I'm not hitting on you. So
no, that's very
it's not.
That's
good.
very, the kind of aesthetic I'm picking up here is restraining order.
Yeah. that's exactly it. So we'll see. That's why I'm hoping Hal. I feel for Hal. Like, the world's left him behind. He's trying to find his place in it, but I hope he just moves on a little bit. Find Cowgirl's number. Like, come on.
Yeah.
Or somebody else. But we do need to move on as well.
Yes.
So that takes us where, Rob? Where are we going next?
We're going to the top 3 books of the week and favorite moment if you have one. Brandon, you want to start us off?
My pleasure. At number 3, I had to give it to Spirit World. Greatly enjoyed that. At number 2, I really wish I had written this down. I had a book that we did not talk about, but I did really enjoy. Nightmare Country, The Glass House, number 3. But at number 1, I had to give it to Green Lantern number 2. Horror Perfection is great. And even for me, as someone who's not been, super keen on all the Sandman stuff. But at number 1, I had to give it to Green Lantern, which to me is, we're only 2 issues in, but I'm already just in love with this book. So yeah. Just great. But my favorite moment has to be like one that genuinely made me laugh. And I love a book that can actually do that from time to time, was the exchange between, actually there were 2, honestly, and I'll be brief. The first one where Hal meets Carol's boyfriend, I think his name is Nathan, and there's like this awkward pause, and they just don't say anything. And then he's like, oh, sorry, let me introduce you to. And the second one was Hal says something like, you know how she is, and Nathan's like, boy, do I. And Carol like gives him the death stare, and I was like, oh, this is so great. Like never
friends with my ex-boyfriend. You are not allowed to be friends with my ex-boyfriend.
And he's like, no, Hal's a great guy. He's like, he's funny. And she's like, no, he's it's all a ruse. He's trying to butter you up.
He'll show you he's a superhero, and then he'll break your heart.
Yeah. he'll sail call you, and then he'll disappear in space for 6 months.
Hey, that happens.
So
do great comic books, man, all the way around. It was really, really hard to narrow down scores. I had to go back and fiddle with them just to be able to make these make sense. Number 3, Green Lantern. Number 2, Batman Inc. Number 9, and number 1, Spirit World. Number 3. Those were all amazing books. Spirit World, like Brandon said earlier, this is lining up to be one of my favorite series if it continues this way. And then my favorite moment is something simple, but it made me laugh, and was Hal scaring the hell out of the demolition crew.
Yeah, it was fun stuff. Number 3, I had Spirit World. Number 2, I had Wildcats, and number 1, I had Batman Inc. No, I didn't. No, I had Green Lantern.
I was about to say, I was like, I'm shocked.
Wait.
This can't be real.
No, Green Lantern for sure, number 1. And my favorite moment also came from Green Lantern. I'm surprised we all didn't have the same one, but that's a testament to how many great moments there were in this issue. Is how Hal became a pilot once again, and that montage of his day at work. Just from like being in the mailroom to just like driving some guy who's trying to retire, and then like all of a sudden he gets a job by like 3:55, and now he's a pilot.
you talked last issue about how much the issue kind of reminded you of Green Lantern the animated series, and that sequence really that felt like something straight out of a cartoon in a good way. But that whole sequence.
But even this whole like Hal trying to push himself onto Carol as well is very reminiscent of their relationship in Green Lantern the animated series.
You can almost hear Josh Keaton's voice.
I almost can. It's really funny. So that's my favorite moment, and we're not doing the biggest stinker anymore because nothing stinks anymore.
Well, so far
it's all smelling great.
So far so good. And you know what? We're just gonna call you out on your shit if you're stinky. We don't need to put you on the list. You'll know you're already on the list.
Exactly. All right, so for now, that's our show. Remember, if you feel like supporting us, check out our Discord server for only $2.99 a month. Visit our website, thegeekmatrixpod.com, for links to our Discord, Twitter, Instagram, shows, and more. So that means we're getting out of here, so you'll have to as well. Be careful out there. And remember, in the Geek Matrix, you are not alone.